For John Rippo, selling guns started as a family business. He began working for his dad at their family Oceanside gun shop when he was just 13 years old and sold guns there for 17 years. He joins us now with a first-hand observation on San Diego's changing gun culture. John, thanks for talking with us today.
My pleasure.
How have you seen the gun culture, or have you seen it change over the years here in San Diego?
Yes, I have. My involvement with it goes back almost as long as I've been around, well over 40 years. And I've seen that culture change from a genteel middle class and very pleasant culture into something much more oriented toward military, weaponry, and the kind of fetishized things that go with them.
Give us some examples. That genteel, were they collectors? Were they women, men? Who was this more genteel population?
My dad had a very significant collection. His crowd used to were professionals. They were hunters. They were people who were interested in them the same way that some people are interested in art and other collectibles. The closest other group would be antique car collectors. That has morphed. Those guys are gone. They're not around the way they were.
What do you think changed that?
I would argue that the entertainment media had a huge impact on that. Particularly, people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and his Terminator films really deserve a circle in hell all his own for that change, because that kind of influence begat a new culture focused on the power of weaponry that we hadn't seen before.
And that was a change as far as the American culture goes. It seems like guns were more integrated in the past in our lives.
That's correct, yes, that's correct. And I would argue that people who did not grow up with them as part of their day-to-day culture substituted an ideal scene in the entertainment media for the reality that came before.
Something interesting is I believe that farm workers and field workers used to have guns. Women carried a lot of guns for protection. Has that changed?
In the days when it was still legal to do so, we had a booming business in selling migrants single-barreled 12-gauge shotguns that they used to hunt with for doves, quail, anything else in the fields in which they live. No one thought anything about that, and to my knowledge in all those years, we never had a single crime reported with any of the firearms we sold to that class of people. As far as women are concerned, I taught hundreds, if not thousands, of women how to shoot for keeps in order to safeguard their lives, usually following domestic violence issues, restraining orders, that kinds of thing.
Let's talk about gun shows. Del Mar's gun show especially, it's big now. You've been there lots of times. How is the atmosphere there, or has it changed at local gun shows?
Completely different, completely different. My dad's contemporaries are all gone now, and they were collectors of antiques and valuable things, and there are none of them left, sadly enough. That has been replaced by vast discount sellers of ammunition, military-style weaponry, and all the different kinds of things that go with that. It just couldn't be more different. The last show that I was at had numbers of people that I had never seen before, people carrying dollies and wheeling out boxes, cases full of cartridges. I even saw women with baby carriages and babies in them hauling away cases of 7.62 by 39 rounds. Never saw that.
Do you think, speaking of the ammunition and laws now, about that, do you think some regulation of ammunition would help?
Not really. Ammunition is made of components which are purchasable on their own, which are virtually impossible to regulate as components, and they can be assembled. The same thing with gunpowder. Gunpowder is relatively, in some cases, quite simple to make.
But you have a unique perspective on, if not the regulating of ammunition, what is your perspective on managing gun laws as far as registration and things like that?
I would first like to see a uniform code of registration. In other words, everybody have the same kind of background check in all 50 states. I'd like to see a little more sanity in the education about firearms in the culture. I would like to see a better level of training in their use, such that the imagery that we have from the movies gets overcome with a dose of reality with what they are and what they are not.
All righty. Well, John Rippo, we are out of time. Thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.